You had mentioned to me that your batting stance in baseball, it was already open. So then for you to do the exact same thing in disc golf made so much sense to me.
Brian was great because he was able to kind of relate what I was doing to different sports. Like Paul's been able to do that a little bit as well, but Brian was definitely very visual on exactly what I needed to be doing.
Dang, you kind of crunched that one.
Not too bad. If he cares enough to put the time in, I think he could be a very solid player just by the way his body moves. But I think he's got to work on the putting, which is always hard, especially under pressure. And I think if he just learns to throw straight with that new footwork, he'll surprise himself.
What up, dude?
Trev,
What's going on, man?
big day, buddy.
Today's the day.
Today's the day.
Excited.
How you feeling?
Good. Nervous, but also those competitive juices are flowing. This was the day, and
That's what I
so
was hoping. That's what I was hoping.
I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
Sweet. So what I'm planning on doing is we have one more lesson to give you. You know, to kind of smooth things over from everything that we've learned. One of the things that I really wanted to do is set up the same flags that we had the first day to kind of give you a little confidence moving forward. You know, I want to show you how far you've come as far as accuracy, distance. I mean, both backhand and forehand.
Yeah.
So I set them up kind of similar to what we did before.
Those flags seemed so far when we started. Like in the first episode, it was like that third flag over there was like, I'm not even looking at that flag. I'm not going to hit it. There's no chance. Now I think I can get past it.
I've actually ranged this off with my Bushnell 850 Sport. The first one is 100 feet. The second one is 150.
Okay.
Third one's 200 feet. So.
All right.
I remember you couldn't even make it past like barely the first one.
I think everything was somewhere, even drivers were somewhere in between the first and the second flag, like tailing off one way or the other. So
let's throw some to the first one just to warm up, get the shorter one kind of. Okay. Yeah, no run up, just kind of.
First one?
Accuracy.
You want to try the first one?
Yeah, let's get back to there.
Okay.
Very good. Very nice. Look how soft that is. That's good. Good stuff. Let's go to the second one.
Okay.
Very good. Dang, those are looking nice. Those are good.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
I've been practicing.
Give me a couple sidearms.
Okay. You want to go to the last one, second one? Which one?
Let's go to the second one.
Okay.
Lots of spin here. Remember, just a flick of the wrist. Let's not overdo it.
Ah.
Yeah, first one.
No, the first one, right? You said the first one.
There it is. Beautiful. All right, let's go to the last one.
Okay.
Love it. Love it. I mean, you're looking good. I feel like, how do you feel?
Don't give me hope. No, I mean, just looking at these flags,
Yep.
It's completely different. You tell me like, hey, let's aim for the first one, this kind of shot, second one, this kind of shot. It's more of, when you told me that in the first episode, I was doing just whatever I could to try to get it up there. Now, when you say those things, it's like I'm thinking about, all right, deeper of a step, different kind of grip, where it's coming out of my hand. And so it's no doubt about it, just over this entire process, the knowledge that I've gotten of how to shoot every shot makes it a lot easier. And you think at the very beginning, you kind of think you're drowning with this. Like you look at different shots and you just go, I don't know how to get it there. I don't know how to get the disc to do what I want to do. Now it's a little bit different. I don't want to sound too overconfident about it, but I've got a good base of knowledge here of how to hit different shots.
So I've been able to bring on a few different people to help you. You know, we had Brian, we had Big Germ come.
It was great.
And give you some nice pointers. And you know, this is our final day, so we have to do it. And so I went ahead and I went out and reached out to a few friends.
New friends?
New friends are gonna come and they're gonna come and help.
Okay.
I dug deep on this one, so.
All right. Okay. I'm nervous but excited. I have no idea who you're talking about, but okay, I'm excited for it.
The first person. Oh, you can see for yourself.
Oh my goodness. You brought the legends.
I did.
You brought the legends out.
I went all out.
My name is Paul McBeth, 5-time world champion. Been playing this sport for quite a while. Started when I was fairly young, about teenager, early teens. So my main focus with Trevor will be on the driving aspect, a little bit of technique, backhand, forehand. I think that's probably one of my main attributes to my game. And I think I can give him a little bit of knowledge.
My name is Brodie Smith, and last time I was here I was playing ultimate frisbee. Now I'm doing disc golf. There's a lot of things that are a lot different between the two sports, and so I'm going to be trying to help him a lot with the wrist movement and just being able to pop the disc more with the wrist and be able to control the speed that way versus trying to use a full arm motion and just not throwing it as hard.
My name's Paige Pierce. I am a 5-time world champion. So I'm going to be teaching Trevor putting today. I have developed a lot of success in my putting routine. I used to be known as a big distance thrower, but it wasn't really until I found my putting stroke that I became a well-rounded golfer. I think it's really important because it's the way you score. You can have a great drive but miss the putt and you're still only taking a par. It's going to be a lot of times where he's off the fairway and he's going to have to scramble to get back to the green and see if he can make the putt and save par.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I don't even need them to introduce themselves to me because I've watched so many of y'all's clips and highlights and YouTube videos and all that kinds of stuff, but holy cow.
So yeah,
we've
Paige.
seen you play as well.
Oh, okay. That's probably not as flattering, but thanks, I appreciate it.
So obviously Paige, Paul, Brodie, and you know, in the first episode I had you look up all of them to kind of reference, do a little homework, and so he obviously knows who you guys are. In past episodes, I brought in Brian Earhart, Jeremy Colling to kind of help him with the sidearm. I had Brian kind of break down his whole form and everything, and obviously for the final episode, I figured I'd bring in the greatest of all time, and then Brodie just went through kind of the same process that you're going through.
Yeah.
And he, in 1 year, you know, went from having zero pretty much disc golf background to now he's, you know, 1,000 rated almost.
Because you had the big ultimate background, right?
Yeah, so it was kind of, did you play much ultimate or no?
So I played a little bit, like in college and everything. You know, you go out with a couple of buddies, just throw a frisbee around. And so that was, I think he'll tell you a little bit too, when I throw sidearm, it's very much like a ultimate throw still.
So we can kind of, you know, relate in the sense of like having to break a bad habit.
Yeah.
Right? Because you think initially, oh, I know how to throw a frisbee, I can throw one of these.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot of the things are completely opposite, so having to like relearn a lot of stuff is very difficult.
Yeah.
We got some gifts.
A couple gifts.
Whoa. Ooh.
There for you.
This show's been unbelievable, holy cow, because y'all have just given me all, like, beyond a starter pack for all of this stuff. Thank you so much. This is fantastic.
Only rule is you can't throw them in the trees.
All right. I don't want to make a promise I can't break, but I guess I got to make a good promise here. No tree shots with any of these three.
Not today, at least. But let's get back into our lesson. So obviously I brought them because I wanted to smooth over the form.
Yeah.
I want them to watch you. I want them to give you the best tips that they can possibly get going, you know, forward into our round where you know, we have 9 holes to shoot a par round.
Make it happen.
That's right.
Right.
Paige, one of the greatest putters in the world. Period. And actually, he has developed a similar style of you to where he's doing the little pop above his head. And
I do.
Yeah.
And I remember he was giving me homework one time of different people to watch for different reasons. And when we got to the putting episode, I just happened to be watching you for the first time, and you were going through a couple of practice rounds. And you were doing a little bit of, because he'll tell you, like, the biggest part for putting with me is I couldn't visualize how to get distance on it. Like, I just didn't understand it. I didn't want to get too much risk because then all of a sudden it's going like left and right. And so I didn't know how y'all just threw it so straight every time and getting it as far as you wanted to. And so when I watched yours, I felt like you have this kind of motion where you bring it up and then you kind of bring it back a little. And I just started doing that in my little side yard, and I could just, for whatever reason, visualize the putt. So
awesome.
It's crazy that you're here for this because I watched you, and like watching your stuff is what I'd like to think helped my putting out a lot.
Awesome. That's really good to hear, and it's good to hear that you're practicing in your yard too, and not just the coaching with Uli. So
yeah.
I would love for you guys to see him throw real quick, and then, you know, kind of like shadow a little bit and give him some pointers. And I'll
no pressure or anything. Just, you know, like the way and greatest or whatever are gonna watch me throw, so it's fine.
I'm gonna step away for a little bit, and then Paul, if you could, give him some pointers.
Well, I'm excited. I will say I was actually expecting to change a little bit, you know, in your shot, but you were actually, when I saw you throw some warming up, you actually had 2 hands, and then you switched it, which is one thing I was gonna suggest.
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
So I guess I can consciously think of that. You want me to just more like have just one on it at all times?
No, I really like the one hand, and my background honestly is from baseball. So hips are really important. So when you're reaching back, think about reaching this hip back and this toe. So you need to step into it, rotate that hip back, and explode it through, and let the arm kind of come through second. So when you explode these hips, so when you explode your hip, you don't even have to move your arm. It's gonna automatically move for you.
Okay. Felt a little bit more hip on that one.
That was good. So try to explode that hip a little bit more, and I think just be really aggressive with that. That lower body. Yeah. Ooh. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
I think you almost nailed that third flag.
Parked it. I don't even know what that means yet. You guys just say it all the time, so I'm just like, I've just started to say parked it all the time.
To be honest, I've been playing this game 15 years, still don't know what it means. I'm assuming parking a car in the garage, I don't know.
All right, we'll try one more. Kept the toe down on that one.
From what I've heard and seen, you weren't getting too much past that first flag. So getting that third one, what is it, 220?
Yeah.
But
no, it's been good. The last time that we were out here and we had these flags up here was basically the first episode, and I was telling Paul that I didn't even look at the third flag because there was no way that I was even getting it there. But it's been fun. It's been fun learning how to let the disc do the work for you, you know? And we were even talking a couple of minutes ago when I was just warming up of just letting the different shots kind of like, you have the different techniques for it. And he's like, okay, aim for the second one here. And you know the different grips and you know how to let it out of your hand and all that kinds of stuff. So, all right, so the hip and the toe, that's something really I gotta take on.
Yeah, those are really big. And you were actually really controlled with the fairway drivers.
Yeah.
Which with disc golf, you know, the speed of the disc, it kind of translates to arm speed. And with you starting, first one you threw was a Heat, the other one was the Undertaker. Those are perfect right now. Those are the ones you were the most accurate with. I wish you had a pile of them.
Yeah.
But you know, I think you got that, you got the control. You know, you got the distance control to the short one, you got the distance control to the long one, but that will be the big thing as far as power.
Yeah.
When you can get that toe down, that hip down, and then just exploding that through.
Yep.
And just creating that chain or that lever from there.
Yeah.
Getting that hip, and you'll be getting them, you know, you'll be getting those distance drivers under control.
Awesome.
But I mean, you're at a great start right now.
Great, so, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right, so I saw you just get a lesson from the GOAT himself.
Yeah.
A little nerve-wracking?
A little bit. The first piece of homework that I had was go watch Paul McBeth stuff, and I looked up the 18 under round that he had, and I was just like, okay, I don't know how you get any better than that.
So one thing that I saw that you were working on with him, and he was right, like the nose up thing, that was something that took me so long, and the reason for that is in Ultimate, we're using discs that are so, you know, flippy, unstable.
Right, yes.
Right? It's literally more unstable than anything here.
Yeah.
Right? So if you threw an Ultimate disc nose down, it's going straight into the ground.
Right.
Or it's turning over and it's dead.
You got to give it the height.
Everything's got to be height, like low to high, and you're also throwing nose up.
Yeah.
Right? So it gets up there and then it glides and then it's flying. That's how you throw.
Right.
We have to do the exact opposite. We now are no longer throwing from like our hip to our shoulder. Yeah. We are now trying to go shoulder.
Okay.
Like in this range.
Yeah.
Right? And then the other thing too is how you hold the disc. So hold it like you're gonna throw a backhand or backhand.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So one thing that really helped me, they all do it naturally because that's all they know.
Yeah.
They've been crushing disc golf for years.
Yeah.
We have Ultimate in our heads. We gotta break that habit.
Right.
So what I had to do for the longest time, it's more natural now, but it's been a year, is I had to go, just like Paul was saying, that thumb, I gotta go, I need to pour a glass of water. Poosh! Pour that glass of water.
Okay.
Right? Like, oh, you're thirsty? Here's some water. Psh.
Oh.
And now,
I see what you're saying.
If you watch them, none of them do this. None of them go, right? Because it's all supernatural, but when they come through, it's this.
Yeah.
And it's that motion. So what we have to do to ingrain in our brain is before we even throw, we have to go, and
Okay.
push down.
All right.
And now it's here. My hand is this. Your forearm's gonna get jacked.
Yes.
Because you're just doing this.
Great benefit.
And now when you go and throw, you're never letting go of that thumb pressure.
Okay.
And then eventually it'll become more natural. You might throw a couple straight into the ground, that's fine.
Right.
But the whole idea is you're trying to get out of this habit and you do the same thing. You go ultimate and
Yeah.
you do this. And that's where you get the nose up.
Right.
So you gotta figure out that pouring water, that was the biggest thing. Is like if you're pouring a jug, getting that wrist motion down there.
Yeah.
So try one just like that.
Okay.
Do everything like Paul said with the hips and
Okay.
all that.
Okay.
But really focus on like getting that wrist down.
All right. Okay.
So like do it right now. Like it should already be there. And now hold it like that and do everything the same.
Okay.
Really, really jack up that forehand.
Wow. What? It's revolutionary.
Okay. See, and this is how you get addicted to the sport. You
Yeah.
get, like, the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
player
yeah, yeah,
telling you
yeah.
What to do.
Yeah, very
And
very
then-
casual. Yeah,
and then
best
it
player
works.
just comes to an open
and then it
field and then you
works,
get better.
and then
Right.
It's like, holy cow, it's actually fun throwing it.
Okay. All right.
So wrist,
All right.
super jack.
Let me top you off, sir. Okay.
there you
Great.
go.
There it is.
Now-
All right.
Let it rip. Hit. Yeah. With a little turn with the keys down.
All right. Okay.
Right. See, that one, to me, that one was a little bit more nose up
Yeah.
than the first one. And that's just one of those things of where, again, it's just going to take
Just gotta
time
work on
to
it.
really feel that.
Sure. Right.
Yeah. Yes, that's crushed.
Yes, sir.
Great throw.
Okay.
That's a golf shot.
Yeah.
That's going to work anywhere.
Okay.
Not
That's a
just in an
sweet
open
line.
field.
Feels good.
Yeah.
This feels good.
Love it.
This is already worth it, Carl. This is already worth
Let's
it.
do one more.
Okay.
And now to smooth it all out, so that's a lot of information to take in.
Yes.
Right? The one thing that I always like to reiterate through a lesson is focus on the fundamentals after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So teapot, yeah, that should be already good. Great point. Follow through. All sports, follow through is so important. So exaggerate it,
Okay.
Through the shot, then be an athlete, finish your stroke.
Okay.
Always.
Okay.
Footwork looks great. Now on the reach back, you're kind of out here sometimes, you're all over the place.
Okay.
Remember to put that level, if you want to throw a flat shot, level, and then we have our grid of hyzer and then anhyzer.
Okay.
So let's
Right.
do this one with a little hyzer. We're going to focus on that back swing and then finish your shot. Okay?
All right.
Yep.
Oh, get over the fence.
Yeah.
Get over the fence.
Yes, sir.
So close.
That was like, I feel like if that was left field, it's over.
good.
Yeah. No. 100%. I'm believing that.
If it's
Yes.
left field,
Yes.
that's over the
Put it
fence.
all together.
Yes. That was that felt good. That felt good.
That was sick.
Okay, now we're gonna go to the forehand.
Okay.
The forehand, the mechanics from ultimate frisbee to disc golf, there's certain things that are very beneficial, but there's certain things, just like the backhand, kind of low to high,
Yeah.
nose up. There's
Yeah.
certain things that we have to reteach ourselves.
Okay.
The one thing that I see as the most beneficial to me is being able to just pop the disc with my wrist. A lot of people struggle with touch. It's very much like a sidearm baseball throw, but when it's short distance for me, I feel like if you can just get that wrist control, it's so much easier than trying to throw 100 feet with a full arm motion
Right.
and trying to do it slow.
Okay.
So the one thing I want to see is like, what kind of wrist action do you have? Can you kind of just sit here like this and just with the snap of your wrist pop something out there?
Yeah.
120, 130 feet.
Yeah.
Or are you going to be the person that does like that full arm motion and you use no wrist, and so your disc just like dies to the right?
Which you want me to aim for?
Yeah,
Like second flag,
I think
first
you should
flag?
go like right in between the two.
Okay.
Like right in like the
Okay.
150 range. Ooh, yeah, you got almost like that little waiter table, like woo, like keep it up here.
The flare, yeah.
the little flippy flip flare.
You want to see another one?
Yeah, toss
Okay.
one more.
Okay. Ah.
Yeah. So that's something this is one thing as ultimate I saw a lot is you get this like whip motion
Yeah.
that people think they generate more spin by doing this like whip, right?
Yeah.
Versus it's really just boom and it's hit it there and stop it there. Now let me see your fingers here. Okay. I'm gonna call Paul in real quick. Paul, come here, because I want him to just double check.
Okay.
That's something I see sometimes in frisbee. People do the same thing where they put this flush For me, I feel like I get way more pop if I rotate, and now this finger is rotated.
Oh, okay.
And so it's almost like in the crease. Do you do the same kind? Yeah.
Yeah, I put like the pads of my finger like
So
that.
he has more of a stack grip, so he does like more of this.
Yeah.
I feel like you can try that.
I like to lean on that finger too.
Yeah.
That's preference.
Same thing.
Some people like to lean on there. So you
Yep.
kind of stabilize it to where this is kind of loose, but now you can stabilize it on that finger.
Yeah, so
Okay.
now and then I would say you either want to go like this, right, where this finger comes down, or do what Paul does, which is he stacks it.
Okay,
I don't think you want to do this.
And by doing that, you're actually putting more rotations on the disc.
Okay.
Because now you should be able to feel
So it's
that
flush.
this is there's some tension here.
Yeah. So
Right?
it's okay. Yes. I feel more that's here, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
And so now the only thing I would say is, again, in ultimate, we like to throw like this.
Yeah.
Disc golf, you
Keep
gotta
it.
roll this wrist to where it's now like flat.
Okay.
And so when you come through, it's here versus coming through like that.
Okay. So it's
But you can literally just pop and let this just fall through. But
Okay.
again, mostly the wrist. And then I'll let Paul kind of take over from here because that's all I got.
that was good though.
That honestly came out.
Yeah,
way cleaner.
Yeah, it was a lot cleaner, it's smoother than the first couple. I think the only thing here is your follow through. You're following it through up here.
Okay.
You can actually come through with it and
Okay.
follow through down.
Do I flip my wrist kind of down
Yeah,
with it?
once you release it, you can just roll that
So
wrist
it's-
over. Yep, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
Let me
roll
make sure
that.
I got the grip right.
You don't like that?
Okay.
Got one more for you here.
Okay.
It's got more of the pop hyzer kind of shot. Huh. No, that's pretty good. So do you throw forehand or backhand further?
Normally I think I would, shoot, before I almost threw one over
Yeah,
the fence
no.
5 minutes ago, then I would have told you I probably
All
throw
right.
forehand further.
No, growing up I was the same way. Forehand distance immediately.
Yeah.
But,
That wasn't bad.
Okay.
yeah, can you toss one to the third flag?
Okay.
Like just past that third flag. I just want to see the control. Go ahead and throw it hard. I don't see the power being the issue. I'm curious. That was my favorite shot you threw right there.
That's great.
Really liked everything you did with that. I think you followed everything that's been said well. And my favorite part was that you stayed low with it and you kept your disc and you drove it low.
Okay.
Throw this the same way.
Yeah, no pressure.
Yeah. And it was just
kind of
simply,
Yeah.
simply just coming up with it. One more.
Better.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like that you stayed down on that. And that's just a straight to understable disc. If it was more overstable, it would have fought out of it a little bit more.
Okay.
But I really like the look of that overall.
Okay.
One of the things that they really pointed out is they were trying to find that pressure point.
Yeah.
So we were working on this earlier too. Get that like this. Take everything off and then feel it right there. Now lift it up. That's your end release. Okay? So when you come through, it's going to pop off of that finger. Okay? See that right? Like put this in there. Yep. There. That's where it's coming off of.
Yeah.
So you can point that like they're trying to say, right? Point it wherever you want it to go. But then through impact, which means when it releases, you'll feel it come off, and then you have to follow through where you want that to go. So if you want hyzer, you're obviously not going to throw it, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're going to want to keep it going wherever you want it to go. Like if I want hyzer, I'm going to keep it going up on hyzer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so through your impact, you're focusing on that last spot, but then there's no follow through. Keep it going back here, same as a backhand. If we're gonna wanna throw a flat shot, we're gonna be flat back here, flat through the process, flat through the follow through. Right.
Okay.
Be an athlete. Money. Now, little anhyzer, we're gonna bring it up a bit higher, right? Pop it, follow through.
Down?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Follow through. Yep.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah.
Oh, see? There you go.
I think those are good.
That's deep.
I think another thing we can all agree on is, yeah, taking it out of this field would be nice, but we got to also keep it really into perspective. He's been playing a month. You've been, how many times total? 9?
Less than that.
Less than that?
Less than that.
And so the fact that you're getting it the distance that you are is great, but we also need to dumb that down a little bit farther to where when we get out on the course, you're not going to have this open field.
Right,
You know,
right.
you're going to have a specific shot that you have to throw.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I notice right now, even after the few things that they gave you, is we're not off target. We're not out here right. We're not out here left, which is really good. And I think we can take that to the course and that be extremely effective.
All right.
All right. So I know that you've developed a little
Yes.
Paige Pierce kind of thing.
Yes, the signature.
But I'm wondering what feels more comfortable or what feels more accurate to you, the kind of what we call a push putt where you kind of start low and come up and it's more of a lofty putt?
Yeah.
Or do you prefer the more spin putt, which kind of is coming from your belly button right to the pole?
I think it's been a weird combination of both as I've kind of learned how you're supposed to putt, because naturally, like when I came out here for episode 1, I was kind of just like floating it up there any way I can. Paul has taught me more of how to get more power and spin on it using a little bit more of my wrist to do a spin putt. But I noticed that even when I do kind of like the bring it down thing, I bring it down a little bit lower and then I bring it up to then spin it in the basket.
So it's kind of a mixture right now.
Right.
So I like to go super direct, like I said, from my belly button to the pole.
Okay.
That way I'm not guessing on height. I'm aiming it right at the middle of the basket.
Okay. More than
So yeah, let's see you throw a couple and see how it goes.
Do you want to start here, a little close?
Let's just start here for now.
Okay.
Nice. Nice. That follow through is good. The first one, you kind of, when you let it go, your hand was kind of up here, just stalling in the air. And did you notice how you hit it a little bit high left?
Yes. Yeah, it came down left side.
Yeah, the second one, you kept your fingers at the pole like I was telling you out there. And that is something that you really, really, really want to exaggerate is your follow through, because where your hand lets it go, that is gonna is where the disc is gonna go. So every time I putt, especially in tournament, I like to kind of critique myself. What went wrong and why did it go wrong? Or why did that go in? So yeah, as soon as you putt, just kind of hold your pose and we can learn a lot about why it happened.
Okay.
So statue, right now. Look how flat your wrist is and it's opened up at the pole. So that's why it hit it dead straight. Say that was a little bit like this.
Yeah.
You would have missed right. So keep trying. Okay, let's go another one. Nice. Okay, that's called a falling putt. You can't do that. From right here to right where you are, my only change, ideally, is the amount of power I put in my back leg. So from here, I'm kind of just barely pushing off. When I get back here, I'm kind of coming down on this left leg a little bit more. Try to focus on your back leg right now and really come down on it and push off of it. Nice. You got a nice natural spin and your follow through is good. So on straddle putt, instead of having that back leg pushing off, this is your biggest difference. Now, do you know what a straddle putt is yet?
No.
You know what it kind of looks like?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So mostly when you're gonna find that this helps you is if obviously you have some obstacle, a tree, a bush, you have to get out.
Okay.
Or if it's elevated. So if you are on a hill, either uphill or downhill, it's easier to keep your balance on a straddle.
Yeah. Okay.
So you'll see people, especially in the Charlotte area, but anytime there's woods, you're going to need the straddle putt. So get used to it. A lot of people don't practice the straddle putt.
Yeah, right.
And then when it happens, they're like, oh, what is this foreign territory?
Right.
So I would suggest definitely practicing it. And the biggest difference, instead of pushing off that back leg, now your legs are parallel over your shoulders. So you don't have that back leg to push off of, but the timing's the hardest part. But so for me, I'm bending down, and right when my knees get to flat is my timing of when I want to release it. And that's, if you don't do that in the correct timing,
right,
it's kind of just,
they could probably fly on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Nice. You have really good wrist movement on the putt.
It did not start off like that.
Well, you've come a long way in a month.
Yeah. Paul had his work cut out for him.
Yes. Nice.
Okay, there we go. Cool.
Anybody?
Is this the new KJ USA? Hey, a little more hip thrust, please.
Yeah. All right.
Great putt. Just clench those cheeks at the end.
It's like a squat.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, probably one of the best putting lessons I've ever even watched or seen.
It was great.
I saw the progression from here. She had you moving back to about 40 feet. You're draining those. How do you feel like that went?
I mean, I'm excited. Like I was saying before, Paige is who I learned from with putting, and I don't even think you had me initially watching Paige for putting. You were just like, hey, go watch Paige because she's a great disc golfer, and that's the thing I pick up on the most. And so getting a putting lesson from the person that I learned the most from putting was pretty special.
So, I mean, I feel like we're ready to get out on the course. In our closing moments, this is your chance to ask, any advice from these guys, because it's just going to be me and you out there.
Yeah.
They're going to be watching.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? You got anything?
I mean, I would just ask the three of you individually, kind of, when you started and when you started to play, whether it was a tournament or a big time moment where it was like, hey, I feel myself getting better. Now I actually have to prove it. What was it like, kind of going through that tournament, for that first tournament feel or something?
Oh man, first tournament feel? I started out young, so my first tournament I actually played with Uli.
Wow.
When we were like, this big. But I think I just went out there and enjoyed it. I knew I was still learning, and I just loved to see the disc fly. I love to see how I can shape it and use that, the flex shots, use the hyzer shots, and just kind of, I always liked experimenting, really. I liked going for some shots to where I've done this in practice, I might want to try it here.
Yeah.
And then that was more for the fun side, but once I got to the tournaments, I would learn, what I was really good at, and I wanted to get a better score. So I'd take the higher percentage shots, I think is really what I'm trying to say, is look at everything as a percentage and use your skill set that you know now and take your higher percentage, especially if you're trying to score.
Right. Sure.
Mine's actually pretty similar, I would say, to experiment for sure. But when it comes down in practice, experiment. And then in competition, I would say my biggest advice is just take your time. Take your time, look at all the different shots, because especially out here, like we're saying in the woods, you're gonna be faced with all kinds of different shots that you're learning, especially when you're learning from all types of different players that have different skill sets. So yeah, there's always another line hiding somewhere. So take your time and look at all your options.
I would say something with disc golf, it's unlike other sports of where it's a long grind, right? You're gonna be out here for a while playing. You gotta figure out how to focus for that one portion, and as soon as the shot's over, it's over.
Yeah.
If you are constantly in your head thinking of as soon as you throw a bad shot, if you're walking up to the shot after a bad shot and you're thinking about the bad shot, you're like, oh my gosh, you're gonna exhaust yourself.
Right.
Focus, throw the shot, and then chum it up with your bud.
Right.
All right, dude, what are you eating tonight? Get off the subject of disc golf, and then once you get back to the disc, then refocus. Because if you're constantly for 9 holes, just grinding and stuff like that, it's tough. Yeah. It's tough to be in the zone that long.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all those are, amazing points that even we can, listen to each other say those things and then enforce that into our own games. Yeah. And I think moving into this round, the best thing you can do, this is not very often you have a guy playing his first round really where you're keeping score, because we really haven't done that.
Yeah.
And you have 5-6 cameras on you, world champions watching. All that can be a big time pressure. It really can. But you're also told me that you're highly competitive. Use that stuff as good energy, because we're all here for positive energy,
Sure.
right? We
Yeah.
all want to see you get better and see what's going to happen out there. Use that to your advantage, have fun, but also take it very seriously as well, because that's one thing that we all do. We have a blast out there competing,
Yeah.
and we compete very seriously at the same time.
Yeah. I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right,
I'm excited.
Get it in there. Good putt, man. Good putt.
Dog barking in the background, unfazed.
Don't eat it.
Unbelievable.
Can't even hear the noise.
This guy's incredible.
Were we,
Not kidding.
love it. Go in.
Please, please.
Oh my God.